Today, on Be Something Wonderful, how to change your life forever fast. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the studios of Be Something Wonderful. We have a big video for you today. Don't forget tomorrow, Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time here in the US, I'm going to come to you live on our membership channel for another live stream, another live event, where I answer your questions in the chat, right there in the chat, and also the questions that you've been sending to us and the topics that you've been sending to us at info@besomethingwonderful.com. If you're a member, join us tomorrow. If you can't make it, it will be available on the membership channel immediately after the live stream. If you're not a member, check out the link below. I want to talk about a conversation that I had with one of you. We talked for the first time in July. This was our second conversation this morning. And he said, Tom, I haven't had a bad day since we talked. Wow. Think about this. He goes, in other words, he's implying that everything's just perfect, right? That when he used to get triggered or things weren't working out or things were taking time, all of that's gone away. All of this idea of unwanted conditions or bad days or triggers make no sense to him now. As he's doing this, he's showing me this beautiful place that he's living in. It's in Newport Beach. It's got a gorgeous view of the ocean, a stunning view with this huge patio. He opens up into it. And I'm thinking, yes, I love this. He manifested that, of course. And so he showed me this new place, huge patio of the stunning ocean view, right? And he really understood from our first discussion that conditions are conditions, but I am. Remember that we talked about this from one of you that I speak with from time to time, that coined this idea. That's the knowing that changes your life forever. This was pointed to by Jesus in the Gospel of Thomas, right? That unless you know yourself as the Son of the living source, unless you know yourself as the source of everything that you want, as that I am awareness, you will live in poverty. And you will be that poverty, right? It's to be known as that awareness. It all falls into place because it's already in place. It's really just allowing it now. Bashar talks about this idea that not having miracles unfolding at every moment is the exception, that miracles are natural. We make things that we manifest, or when things are going well, we make that an exception. But the good, the love, and everything unfolding perfectly is the rule. The exception is you not making the rules. Remember we said yesterday, you make the rules, right? It makes no sense when you know yourself as source. Triggers, unwanted conditions, bad days. You may have an experience of those, but you're going to transcend that immediately because you know more now. You can't go back to not knowing who you are. This is so powerful. This is what I want to talk about today. Remember that some of the areas that we talked about with a specific person, that it's unfolding perfectly, the business is going well, the dream home that he showed me, this beautiful ocean view. Think about this. When potentially triggering circumstances appear, I want to share this with you. This is something that he says to himself as I am awareness. That's not what's going on. Hear this. When potentially triggering circumstances or things that look unwanted are going on, that's not what's going on. He understands it's just an appearance. He immediately remembers who he is. That's not really what's going on. What must be going on is what I want, what I desire. It must be perfect underneath that. Wow. Then he says this. Then he goes, and then I'm right. And I'm right. Because it unfolds. It's not really what's going on. Then the circumstances unfold before his very eyes. into everything that he wants. This is so powerful. In other words, those conditions and circumstances must transform into your ideal about yourself and your world. Very powerful. Any potentially negative, judged negative triggers are triggers to remember yourself as source. Any potentially what you could judge as negative or unwanted triggers, circumstances and conditions, are just to trigger you to remember yourself as source, right? As that perfect awareness of being within which everything unfolds perfectly no matter what. Wow. This is powerful. Remember, stop making miracle manifestations the rare exceptions, right? And make them a natural unfolding of your expanded awareness as all that is. Miracles are natural. They're your nature, right? But we get in the way of that, declaring things as not, they shouldn't be, or it shouldn't be happening like that. These circumstances shouldn't be happening. I don't understand why I'm seeing this. Why is it taking so long? Why hasn't it happened? Why isn't things moving? That's all unnatural, right? Bashar talks about this in a very powerful way, right? The idea of living fourth dimensionally, right? Or living fifth dimensionally, or whatever you want to call it, living from your higher awareness, right? And as a fourth dimensional and fifth dimensional being that you are. It's like, this is what he says about it. It's like living in a dream. In other words, in the knowing and awareness of who you really are. Because you start to realize that physical reality is a dream. You're dreaming it. You're creating that holographic physical experience. And that you have manifestations that you would have in the past simply recognized as magical. Do you see it? So when you're setting in this awareness, you realize that the manifestations that you had or you would have had in the past that you recognized as somehow exceptions to the rule are all part of the magic that you are. They're all part of the miracle that you are. Right? And that you can have manifestations that you would have in the past simply recognized as magical in the past, right? You'd recognize those as exceptions, those magical. But now, as you stand and sit in this awareness, well, those miracles are seen as natural as part of who you are, right? That you're the magic, that you're the miracle. This is powerful. And he goes on as well. Remember, your natural state of being, your core essence as a unique, individualized, physically focused personality of all that is all that is. Wow. That's the miracle of existence, of that one life. That your natural state, your core essence as source, this personality that you are in this 3D physical experience is a unique, individualized, conscious, physically focused personality of all that is. And it is all that is. It's not a part of it. It's not just an aspect. It's all of it. Holographic and non-local. Every part of the whole is the whole. Right? And it's everywhere and everything all at once. That's you. That's a miracle. Right? Bashar continues, miracles are not the exception. Miracles are the natural order of things. In other words, they're the rule and you make the rules, right? Not experiencing them is the exception. Not experiencing them or not create an experience that doesn't feel magical or like a miracle. That's the exception. Wow. Really powerful. Stop being the exception and make and create the rules. We touched on this yesterday, which will be linked below yesterday's video. Stop being the exception and make and create the rules of your reality and your entire life experience. Like this guy in this beautiful house with things with his SP all unfolding perfectly, business going well, all of it. He hasn't had a bad day since July when we first talked about this whole idea. Wow, that's powerful. Manifesting, creating, and making your own reality is natural. Miracles are natural. I am is your nature. It's the name of God. It's your nature, the name. It's a miracle, right? You make your own reality. There is no other rule. Seth, the non-physical that I mentioned in yesterday's video. You make it all. Make, create, and manifesting is natural. It's your nature. When you call forth and invoke things and pray in the name of God or in the name of the Father, that's the name of that's your name. That's your nature. And there are no exceptions other than the exceptions you make, create, and accept and agree with as your reality. Wow. There are absolutely no exceptions other than those that you make and create and experience, accept, and agree with as your reality. That's why in Scripture, the ancients said, whatever you ask in my name, Jesus, your I am awareness, in the name of I am, that I will do, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son. I love this, right? We glorify the source, the Father, with declaring and being that person that we've always desired to be, putting our awareness on our desired reality. Right? That's how you glorify the source that you are. Wow. In other words, the Father is the great I am. It's the great isness of reality. It's the great I am. It's you experiencing yourself as one with the Father, experientially through your physical experience, knowing yourself as source experientially. You as the Son of God and the Son of Man, together. Right? Remember, when they say will, it means conviction, not in the future. It's not that I'll do it someday or in the future. I will do it so that the Father may be glorified in his Son. So you as the I am awareness, as the all that isness of that great isness or existence, you're glorifying that source that you are. You're knowing yourself experientially as that source. Right? That's why in Scripture it also talks about the idea that up to this point, you haven't asked in my name. Ask whatever you want, and it will be given you. But up to this point, you haven't asked in my name. In other words, you haven't asked from already being and having everything you desire. That's powerful, from the recognition that you are source. So, existence, life, source, God, the great I am, is glorified. In other words, is known experientially through you as a unique, limitless, conscious center and personality of all that is. Bashar continues, so you are giving up being the exception and going into the flow of creation in a more natural way, beginning to realize that surrender is not giving up control. Surrender is allowing the control you already have and are to express itself more freely. I love that. Remember, even Neville Goddard says that prayer is a surrender. It's you surrendering to the knowing that you are all that is. That's what going with the flow means. You're already that control. It's the control that you are from that identity, from that source. That's what it means to be unattached. Or that's really the definition of detachment right here. Bashar gives us the definition of detachment. You're giving up being the exception and going into the flow of creation, creating the rules. You are the rules in a more deliberate or natural way. Beginning to realize that surrender is not, let's see if we get this, not giving up control. On the contrary, surrender is allowing the control you already have and are to express itself more freely through you and as you. Wow, that's powerful. So imagine, create an imaginal scene, whether it's getting married or a bunch of money or improved health and improved appearance, seeing yourself healthy, wealthy, fulfilled, and complete. Imagine, assume, and choose your identity, for whom and through whom everything you want and desire is real or a reality. Then understand that and know that going with the flow means that the current already knows where you need to go. This is Bashar right here in these quotes. Understand or know that going with the flow means that the current already knows where you need to go. Trust that. In other words, your I am identity is the structure or the riverbed through which that flow or current goes. You've already decided the structure of your I am identity. I am that I am. I am everything I've always desired to be. Now that flow follows that structure. Be that person you've always desired to be, and that will flow to everything you want. He points to the idea of upstream, like Abraham Hicks, right? When you try to go upstream, when you start resisting circumstances, when you're wondering why things are taking time, or how do I do it, or why is this happening, or why am I seeing this, you're going upstream. And nothing, as Abraham Hicks says, there's nothing up there. It's all downstream. It's all flowing through you and as you. Let go of the oars, and everything you want is downstream, what Abraham Hicks says. Perfect for this. Your identity, who you to say you are, is the structure of that riverbed. The flow will follow that, right? It changes your life forever. 2 conversations this morning, just like that. One with this guy that we're basing this lesson on, and then another one that I just had. Very similar. We only talked one time. The second time we had talked. We have a third session together. Everything's changing. Their life has changed forever. You can never go back to not knowing. Life will never be the same. That's how to change your life forever, fast, instantly, now. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. Thank you for being part of our Facebook group, the Be Something Wonderful Ambassadors, at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful, for joining us on our Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, TikTok at Be Something Wonderful, anywhere on social media at either Be Something Wonderful or at Tom Kearin. You can find us, and for being part of the membership channel. Members, tomorrow we're going to meet again. We're going to have a great live stream. Be sure to join us. If you can't join us, that will be broadcast later. Don't worry, we're going to always get to your questions. Whether we answer them on the live stream, or we answer them in a video, or we answer them in an email, we will get to them, and there'll be more live streams on the membership channel. Creators with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude. This is Tom Kearin here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, we'll see you soon.